technical difficulties. I'm going to do the same I did in the beginning of the last video, just to hurry up and push like and share this. Like and share this this new video, this new stream we just rebooted up. If y'all don't mind. And in the meantime, if there's anybody that has any questions online for y'all that are getting back on, type them in the live chat, and we'll get to it when we can. Wait a second. Anybody watching the stream right now and it's good? It's good now?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm also on Christ. Hit those one more time. Where was we at? Oh yeah, so all right, we're gonna drop that First Kings though, and we're gonna pick up at the book of Luke, chapter 12, verse 51. And again, we're gonna start getting into the portion where, just hitting on a couple verses of us being, how I want to put it, basically, being separate again. We getting back on being separate again, but it's gonna lead into something. So, Lockie, I'm just hitting these, just sharing this real quick. Bear with me. Yeah, so like here, y'all. Forgive me for the technical difficulty. Boy, when we to wild now, but okay. Luke 12 and 51. All right. Read when you got it, whomever has it.
The book of Luke, chapter 12, verse 51. Suppose ye that I am come to give peace on earth. I tell you, nay, but rather division.
Now, first and foremost, these are some very powerful words being spoken by a very powerful man, given the fact that, what they teach us in these Christian churches, that, God is for everybody, God loves everybody. A lot of the BS that they feed us, that they spoon feed, a lot of us Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. But young man, what color is this written in?
Red.
Which means who is speaking?
Yahushua.
So now, Yahushua is speaking, or as y'all know, Jesus Christ is speaking. Read that from the top, and read it from the top.
Suppose ye that I am come to give peace on earth.
So suppose that I am coming. You suppose that when I return, that when Yahushua returns, it's to bring peace on earth. He posed that as a question. And for those of y'all that are just listening, he posed that as a question. There's a question mark right after earth. Read on.
I tell you.
He's telling you, go.
Nay.
No. Go ahead.
But rather division.
But rather I'm coming for division. Right? Yahushua is coming for division. But what happened to all this, God loves everybody and whatnot, right? The topic of today's class is how we're supposed to separate from our oppressors and our enemies. We're supposed to separate from all of them. And with that being said, Yahushua is the example for Israel in all things. Yahushua basically came and walked the earth to show us that we can, to be the example, to show us that we can be perfect, that we can follow the law, statutes, and commandments. That they came for forgiveness so that we can have salvation, right? But the thing is for someone to have salvation, how did the Israelites get salvation the first time? the first time. Can anybody tell me? For one that has salvation, who has to get what? So think about the first time. It's a lot. Think about the first time that the Israelites got salvation. Who did they get salvation from? And what happened to those that they got salvation from so that they could actually receive it? Go ahead.
Did they get salvation from the Egyptians?
From the Egyptians. What happened to the Egyptians so that the Israelites can receive salvation?
They got disease.
Okay, so they got the plagues, but when you sum all of it up, by the time Moses and all the Israelites made it to the other side of the Red Sea, and the sea is being closed back up, what happened to the Egyptians? What happened to them as a nation? To get salvation, so the Israelites got salvation from the Egyptians. What happened to the Egyptians?
Did they be enslaved?
No.
I can't think of the word. I know the word I'm thinking of.
What was the word I just gave you? Sis. Destruction. To have salvation, for someone to come up from oppression, the one that's oppressing them has to be destroyed. Because what? Y'all really believe that we can send an ambassador to, President Joe Biden or, Kim Jong-un or whoever the hell is over China and whoever the hell is over, all them African countries and be like, hey, or Vladimir Putin, hey, y'all think y'all can kind of chill on blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans? Can you lift that foot off of my people's neck? I mean, isn't that what Moses tried to do with Pharaoh? Let my people go. But what did he do? What's Biden done? What did President Reagan do? And let's continue to go on. What did George Washington do? We'll start from the very beginning of this doggone country. At what point was the foot let up off of blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans? And please don't give me that BS talking about, Abraham Lincoln, he emancipated the slaves. You do your doggone research, you'll learn why he even did that in the first place. That was still in the game of the white man. Because it would have made their economy plummet. They're all about their money. They don't give a damn about you. Your freedom was for the betterment of them so that they can continue to prosper. Not so that, because, for all men were created equal. For real? Slave owners wrote that? Do you buy into that? As they had slaves? Come on now. So again, back on what we, on the verse. Yahushua says he's telling us that he's not coming for unity. He's not coming for peace. He's coming to create division. Who can tell me what the division is? Somebody see me one more time, Baba Kashah. Young man, go ahead.
The division between the other nations, us Israelites and the other nations.
Okay, so does that mean, give me a little bit more on that. Does that mean that all of Israel is going to be a part of that Israelite division? And when I say so all so-called Negroes, the water. So all so-called Negroes is going to be put on that right-hand side with the split of the sheep. and the left hand side is the the split of all the goats and the the other nations. That's what's.
It would be the Israelites that follow the laws and statutes and commandments of the Most High.
Hey man, get this young man a hand. Most High Christ. Exactly. Only those that are following the law, statutes, and commandments are gonna receive what?
The kingdom.
The kingdom, but there's a word in specific I was looking for. But you're right, the kingdom, but what? But
salvation.
Salvation. Only if you follow the law, statutes, commandments. Now, if you following after, what Joe Biden is trying to set, if you following after what Kim Jong-un or a lot of y'all still following into that BS Egyptologist bull crap. Y'all want to follow into all that Africanism and Egyptology and what other nation, what other culture aside from yours, you think you're gonna have an opportunity for salvation? Everybody, if you ain't with us, you against us. That is the most simplest way to put it. Another way to put it, if you ain't in the ISUPK, if you ain't getting in class with the ISUPK, first and foremost, you in the way. But secondly, you ain't on the dividing side of what Yahushua is coming for. And we're gonna find out who he's coming for. Give me the book of Matthew, chapter 15, verse 24, Baba Kashab.
What was it?
The book of Matthew, chapter 15, verse 24.
Count.
Give me 1 second to get there, Baba Kashab. All right, go ahead and read it when you got it.
The book of Matthew, chapter 15, verse 24. But he answered and said, I am not sent by unto the lost sheep of the house of Israel.
Go ahead and read that again, just from where it's in the red.
I am not sent but unto the lost sheep of the house of Israel.
So Yahushua, now mind you again, this is written in red. The only people that that Yahushua has been sent by, who sent Yahushua? Who sent Yahushua? You know what I mean?
Most High.
Most High sent Yahushua. For who? Context.
For Israel.
Or
the blacks, Spanish, Native Americans.
Okay, but from what we just read, who did he come for?
The lost sheep.
So the lost sheep of Israel. Can you tell me who the lost sheep of Israel is?
The ones that are in the truth.
Okay, so they're not in the truth. Tell me some of them people that aren't in, some of the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans that aren't in the truth. Who does that umbrella over? Now, like, keep in mind, blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans are we are cursed today, right? So there are certain things that are plaguing us. What are some of the things that are plaguing blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans? Yeah, really the only way out is hell. You stop following after them. You stop doing what they doing. Stop following them who told you it was okay you could do this in the first place. But you come into this truth. Shalom, what Christ said. Give me an example. You got one, sis? Christianity is a great one. What does Christianity teach you that you can do that goes against the law? Go ahead. They tell you can be a homosexual. Ain't that against the law? What else?
Practically tell you can do anything.
Just live your life. You could be a drug addict. You could be a drunkard. You could be a sluggard. You could be an adulterer who sleeps with, his brother's wives. Who thinks it's cool to sleep with another man's wife in the first place. Make a song about it. Now, mind you, the reason why I'm bringing this type, I'm hitting on those types of things is because it's simple. We have to stop doing those things. We have to stop following the people who told us that that's okay in the first place. And the people who are basically telling us, like we all say, actions speak louder than words, right? We all talk about that. The other nations, they'll talk about, oh yeah, don't sleep with another wife, or another man's wife, this, that, the other. But then they'll go and do it. And in fact, the people who are oppressing us today, that's part of their culture. Look into how the Greeks and the Romans used to get down when they celebrating something. Let it be one of their big grand holidays for one of their gods that they pay big tribute to. Oh, you got men sleeping with men and women sleeping with women, and the two combined all simultaneously, the whole room is filled with it. Do your research. These are the things that you learn. That is their culture. That is their way of life. And when you follow into that, what happens?
Destruction.
Okay, there's destruction, but we went over it though. And I'll give you a hint with Solomon and Deuteronomy 7 and 4. What happens?
It changes your heart.
Okay, it changes your heart against who?
The Most High.
It changes your. Okay, and what happens when that happens?
The Most High becomes angry.
The Most High becomes angry. So with that being said, for us to be under the curses that we're in, is saying what? That we too attached to these other nations and they way of life. Which is why we received what? Judgment. We received judgment. And what is our judgment? I'm speaking on the scale of the nations right now. Give her one more chance. You think you, huh? No. Sis, you want to answer?
So our judgment is to be living in oppression or slavery or however.
Which is what? Because it sounded like you read me a specific verse. I almost said the word.
Slavery and judgment is the judgment for our disobedience or breaking the statutes.
We made the Most High upset.
Right.
So because he's upset, we receive the judgment. Right. Where do we find that judgment for disobeying the Most High? For what we're the judgment that we're living today. Right. Right. But can you tell me where in the scriptures?
The book of Leviticus is what contains all of our laws.
Okay. But go ahead, sis. Huh? Curses. Now we living under a curse because we kindled his anger. We sparked up his anger because we turned our hearts to other gods. We turn our hearts to the other nations. Y'all understand? Does anybody have any question? You got any questions? I know you just got here. No? All right. Most High. So we're going over why the Most High wants us to separate from our enemies and our oppressors. All right, and then after class as well, I'll give you my notes so that way you can get all the verses. All right, no sweat. So we just read 15 and 24. Went over how Yahushua was only, or Jesus Christ was only here for the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. Those that are lost, the ones that are lost and caught up in Christianity, being a drug dealer, or even being, a drug addict. Anything that goes against the law, statutes, commandments, and they just doing it, not even knowing they doing it. That's who Yahushua came for. Somebody like myself, before the Most High saw me fit to be given the truth to. I was lost. If I may, for a moment, I was going to, in my opinion, that's a white man church completely. I was going to Mormon church for a little bit. I didn't buy into it, but that was the only church that I actually knew. And then somebody put me on game about the truth to give me the opportunity to say, you know what? Yeah, I've been knowing that was BS, but also for me to decide for myself, all right, I'm going to follow the way that, because I already believed in Christ, but I'm going to follow the true teachings of Christ. Y'all understand? It's people like myself. Many of the brothers and sisters that are in this class with me right now, sitting in front of me. And a lot of y'all that are watching right now yourselves, whether you actually already in the truth, you already in the ISUPK, they was that brother or sister. And for those of y'all that are just tuning in, you that lost sheep that Yahushua is searching for to give you those answers, where you have those uncertainties about, I'm just mostly spiritual. I believe in God, but I don't really lean on nothing too much. Man, that's the white man playing with your dog. That's the oppressors playing with your doggone mind. That's what that really is. Making you think that there's any other possibility, or even the slightest probability of something other than the Most High and Christ. If I make just one more thing, you can look at the other nations' records, and they have records about how the Red Sea has split. What else do you need after that? These are historical facts that you can find around the world from that time period. But you need God or Christ or an angel to appear in your room and say, you know what? Hey, it's okay. I'm on your side. It's okay. That's exactly why you need to break away from these other nations, because they teach you that BS. Because in the truth, what we tell you is learn. Learn at the feet of the man above you, so that they can teach you how you're supposed to act. And what Yahushua actually said to do. What the Most High said, how we're supposed to conduct ourselves. That's how you get the Most High's favor. But with that, we're going to drop that. And we're going to go to the book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 13, verse 16. Baba Kashab. We got anything on YouTube, sir?
Nah.
All right, most time.
It was 13, 16.
Okay. Ecclesiasticus 13 and 16. All right. My central ass. I was supposed to get there with you.
The book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 13, verse 16.
Uh-huh.
All flesh consorted according to kind.
Uh-huh.
And a man will cleave to his life.
Who could break down that first line for me real quick? Or at least give me an example of that first line. That all flesh consorteth to its own kind. What's that mean? Can anybody tell me what consort means? Young man, look that up for me. Baba Kashab. Sir.
It's basically saying that pretty much all men, like
The first line, it's a lie. The first line says all flesh.
yeah, all flesh or all men and all people, humans, consorted to his own kind, meaning like they pretty much follow after their own kind. They pretty much how can I say, like cleave to their own kind. They go like being like a tribal. Like it's natural for them to want to be with their own people.
Do you see lions kicking it with crocodiles? Do you see a pride of lions with a congregation of crocodiles cleaning each other's teeth and chopping it up and, you know, like it's Lion King? Or do you see them two separate according to their own flesh? The lions is with the lions. The crocodiles is with the crocodiles. They might come together because, you know what, animals are a lot smarter than we think. They might come together and help each other hunt for the same prey. Hey, I'll push them to the water and you push them back to the, to the land. You know, they got little hunting tactics like that. But do you see them coming together, defending each other? Now, what's going to happen if a lion get too close to the water? Go ahead, young man.
The crocodile's gonna eat them.
That crocodile going. That lion is gone. He's going to drown them, rip them up, eat them, and swallow them. You had something said?
And the verse it said all flesh. So
all flesh. That's why. Go ahead.
it was that if the Most High don't put a separation in between us, we would continue to have been like Babylon. All the flesh, just we are all people. We're all the same, but we're not. So we
Right.
automatically just kind of stay.
Right. Exactly. Now, can you tell me the reason why I brought up the animals for that very first line, though? Why that was, my go-to before we, elaborate further onto the second line? Go ahead.
Because we're not supposed to be, we're supposed to be separate. That's what the
Can you
Most
give
High
me a
said.
precept?
Yeah, we just read it.
Animal, nature, and what in us human beings. What are we supposed to do with nature? Can anybody pull that precept? Does anybody know what precept I'm even talking about? It's in the book of Job. Look up, Google learn from nature KJV. It should come up something along that line.
Learn from nature.
Learn from nature KJV. Look that up. All right. And tell me when you got that. And then, okay. So now while he's looking that up, we already set that example. Let's read that second portion again, Baba Kasha.
And a man will cleave to his life. Verse 17.
No, that's all I want.
Okay.
Well, actually, no, we'll just leave it at that.
Job 12 and 17.
Go ahead and read it for me. So, and a man will cleave to his life. Who can tell me what that means?
12 and 7.
Hold there, Baba Kashad. Go ahead, sis.
Consort means to, it's like husband and wife.
Young
It's
man,
like,
Salagi, young man. Go ahead.
it's like husband and wife. You only deal with your own kind. Consort is dealing with your own
That's
kind.
it, sis. That's it. You deal with your own kind. You deal with your own kind. You think that, the Trump rally is, we had a couple brothers and sisters that was there, but do you think that them Trump folk, when they stormed the Capitol Hill, they was like, hey, and if you Israelite brothers and sisters that wants to come with us, come with us. Nah, they congregated within themselves. And because we so doggone stubborn and stiff-necked and also want the other nations to love us, and we are so in love with them, that's why when in some of them videos, you saw little onesies and twosies of brothers and sisters just showing up in the marching lane. Why? stormed up the Capitol Hill. What I found funny though, and I might be wrong. I'm just saying from what I had seen, from the videos I had seen, I saw brothers and sisters, onesie twosies, brothers and sisters marching up to the Capitol Hill. But as far as the video footage of brothers and sisters inside the Capitol, I ain't seen nothing. I ain't seen not a single one. I'd like for y'all to ponder on that about, amongst yourselves. Salakia, can I get that, Baba?
It wasn't it. I'm not sure what scripture you're talking about nature.
Yeah, I'm
Is nature in the scripture?
You think you got it, young man?
It says, I looked up, it says in Job 12 and 7 through 10.
Let me get there. Let's see if that's what I'm looking for. Job 12, 7 through 10.
Yeah, that's the one I had.
No, that's what it is. That's what it is. Whoever want to read it.
The book of Job, chapter 12, verse 7.
Uh-huh.
But ask now the beast.
So now ask the beast. Ask the the beasts of the land and the fish of the sea, right? We all understand that, right? If they're going to as a teacher teach you one thing, the teacher's got many things that they will teach you. The second thing from we had in Ecclesiasticus, what is that other thing? Consorting your own kind. Sort to its own kind. Do you that as a black we being compared as compared to the lion. So if I'm supposed to act like a lion, be trying to associate with this sneaky crocodile, that when I get too close to its territory, playing into its game, for me to get snapped up, torn apart, and eaten up. Do y'all understand the correlation?
Yes.
Y'all understand that? Does anybody got any question with that? So to continue to stay on topic, with Ecclesiasticus, Salakia, chapter 13, verse 16, all flesh consorteth according to kind, and a man cleave to his like. One thing that we have to take into consideration is, like, of course, we've been seeing it all over TV. It's only a matter of time before, as everybody likes to call it, the race wars. It's about to really pop off, where we actually have to pull the trigger here in 2020, whatever, when it actually pops off. You think you're going to have some Billy Bob Joe Thornton talking about some, hey, brother, I know that you're an Israelite. Come take shelter with me. Like, you really think that's something that you're going to deal with? No. If you anything that doesn't look like them, they pulling the trick without question. And they've already made it very well known that not only are they ready for it, but they waiting for it. And what I mean by waiting for it, they want this war. But with somebody who wants war with you, this is the crazy thing that baffles me. A lot of you Christians, a lot of y'all that's so in love with a so-called white man, y'all still want to have equality. Y'all still want to come together and kumbaya and, you know, I'll forget slavery. I forget slavery. I forget about civil rights, which was only, you know, hell, it wasn't even, it's barely been half a century since then. And y'all still want to try to come together with these people who have no intentions of loving you, but you have every intention in the book to try to get them to love you. In my opinion, what I have to say to that, and keep it a buck, that's heartbreaking. That's heartbreaking because you had a man that loved you so doggone much, never even met you, but he loved you so doggone much that he gave his own life for you to basically come out of that foolishness, to have an opportunity to come out of that foolishness. And then not only that, but the Most High continues to show you as to why you should come out of that foolishness through how they treat you. And this ain't nothing different from how the Egyptians treated us. No different than how the Greeks, the Romans, the Africans. I mean, how you can look at how everybody treats the so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native American today. We have no respect for anybody, from anybody, Salaki. But yet, we pursue that love. And from what I see and kind of understand, it's almost like we want them to forgive us for, I don't know, y'all got to tell me what y'all asking for forgiveness of. For whatever the hell because my father is a black man? Because I'm supposed to forgive you because you stole my people's land? That you made my people's illegal immigrants? Because my people built this doggone country? That your economy, your riches is based off of me and my people? I'm supposed to ask you for forgiveness? I'm supposed to kiss your ass? That's what we saying. These lost sheep, that's basically what y'all are saying. And Yahweh Shai came to tell y'all, you ain't supposed to kiss nobody's ass. It's supposed to be the other way around. He came for you to let you know how special you are. Before we continue with my notes, look up Ye Are Gods, Baba Kashad. We so worried about them and what pleases them, what they want. When do you think about what's happening with your own people? What's happening to us? You understand? Go ahead.
It says in the book of Psalms, chapter 82, verse 6, I have said, ye are gods.
I have said. So you said this is Psalms. Hold on. Oh, that's heavy. Psalm 82.
Verse 6.
Verse 6. Go ahead, read it again.
I have said.
I have said. Who is I? Who is this I? Go ahead.
The Most High.
Yeah, it's the Most High said. The Most High said. Go ahead.
Ye are gods.
That ye are gods. Go ahead.
And of all of you are children of the Most High.
You are God. Now, this ain't no, Egyptologist bull crap where, oh, the black woman is God because she brings life and yum, yum, yum. Like, we ain't on that. Who in here can tell me what God means? The word God means. Go ahead.
Does it mean powerful?
It means power. The word God means power. Now, as someone who has power, how do you have power? You a young man. No, go ahead. If you think you got it, before I even give you the hint, tell me how.
Rulership?
You got rulership right now? But you do have power today. You do have power. What is the power that you do have access to? Can you tell me that? Go ahead.
The Bible.
Okay. Now you're on the right track. What power does the Bible give you? Because you Israel, you have access of this power through the Bible. What is this Bible? What is this power that you basically able to tap into? And this ain't no, what was that foolishness they was talking about on, was it December 22nd or 23rd? All black people were supposed to wake up and have superpowers and all that foolishness. We ain't talking about that. We ain't in no comic book. You ain't know about that? Oh, girl, it's a lucky. Yeah. Yeah. We supposed to wake up December 20 something. Maybe it was the 21st. What, do you know the date?
It was somewhere on the time.
Yeah, you know the date? It was the 21st? Yeah, December 21st. We supposed to have superpowers. Like, come on, man. What is that power that we do have access to?
Want to say the truth?
The truth, but what power does the truth give you? Go ahead. You had your hand up first. Go ahead, sis.
Salakia, it gives us the power that we have allows us to come out of Babylon and to become perfect, because the Most High is perfect, by obeying the statutes, the laws, and the commands that the Most High set for us. That's the power that this book gives us through reality.
Young man, come here. I want you to read this prayer. Obviously in the English. Read it out loud. No, stand up and read it. This is just the first two lines. Go ahead and read it.
Yahweh in the name.
Okay, so Yahweh was who?
The Most High.
It's the Most High. Go ahead.
Yahweh Shai.
So in the name of Yahweh Shai. Go ahead.
Please give us the power.
So give us the power.
The power to heal all manner.
The power to heal all manner. Go ahead.
Sickness and all manner.
Is that it?
Disease, the power to cleanse the lepers, the power to raise the dead, the power against unclean spirits, to cast them out in the name of Yahweh Shai.
Okay. Now, what is the power that you get? Now, hold on to this. What's the power that you get through these scriptures?
To heal.
And get the power to heal the lepers, all manners of sickness, to raise the dead. You have the power to not only heal Tawada. You have the power not only to heal, but to raise the dead. What other power does anybody else need on this earth? Because again, going back to what we was talking about earlier, when you sitting there following, these other nations and they customs and doing what they doing, you basically as good as dead. Who can tell me why he was as good as dead, or he would just be considered a walking dead? So I know a lot of y'all might be fans of that, anyways.
Can you state the question again?
Emphasize on, or tell me how we raise the dead, basically. To narrow it down. How is it that we raise the dead through these scriptures? Am I going to our, grandmama's grave and reading these scriptures to her? Is that what I'm doing?
Uh-uh.
So what am I doing? to raise the dead. How do I do that? Go ahead, young man.
By giving out the truth to the other Israelites.
Okay. So when I'm doing that, what am I doing?
Preaching, so to speak.
Sis? Teaching the law, statutes, commandments. What is the law, statutes, commandments? Genesis 2 and I believe it's 7. Let's go. Read it when you got it.
The book of Genesis, chapter 2, verse 7.
Uh-huh.
And the Lord God formed man of the dust of the ground.
Uh-huh.
And breathed into his nostrils the breath of life.
The breath of what?
The breath of life.
The breath of what?
The breath of life.
Go ahead.
And man became a living soul.
So what is that breath of life? Raise your hand, sis. Well, go ahead. The knowledge of what?
The knowledge of life.
And so what is the knowledge of truth? What is the knowledge of life? What is our, as an Israelite man, as you being an Israelite sister, what is the knowledge of life?
Bringing you from the dead, knowledge the dead, whatever we knew before, we're now coming to the light.
But what is that? In specific. Go ahead, young man.
The law, statutes, and commandments.
The law, statutes, and commandments. The law, statutes, and commandments is what makes you a living and breathing soul. Someone who wants and craves life. Because you're not out there trying to eat pork or trying to get high or, doing things that will kill you. You're not out there doing that. You showing the Most High that, hey, I want this life. I want this life to go on as long as possible. But not only that, that's a lot here. But when I return, I want my next life to be, I want my next life basically to be better than what it was for my last life. And how do you do that? How do you show the Most High that you want that? Go ahead.
By following the law, statutes.
By following the law, statutes, commandments. Now, tell me another way that you do that, but according to the topic of today. I see you. See me one more time, Baba Kashar?
I got it.
No, you too up. You too up. All right.
But by not being with other nations,
By not being with the other nations, in what context?
having marriages,
Marriages. That's one. What? Just give me what we've gone over today. That's all I want. If you could pull something that I haven't gone over today, the Most High Christ. We know that you've been paying attention. But stick to what we've gone over today. So marriages is one. What's something else that we hit on? Sis brought it out. You had your hand raised? Go ahead.
Honestly, separate with other nations.
How do you separate it from the other nations?
You don't follow their customs.
You don't follow their doggone customs. What's part of their customs? Their belief system. What's part of their belief system? What's one thing that has got us in sleep? What's one of their belief systems that's got us in a deep slumber? You had the floor already, so I'm gonna go with you first. Christianity. Sis, that's not the only one, but sis, you got another one, sis?
The Christmas, the holidays.
Okay, Christmas and the holidays. What about Muslim? Buddhism. Our people still follow after those things as well. A major sleep, though, is Christianity that our people deal with. It's Christianity and Muslim. Our people want to be just like them. We want to be like Esau, and we want to be like the doggone Arabs. For whatever doggone reason. I mean, there's also the Egyptologists as well, but, you know, whatever. But real quick, read Psalms 82 and 6 again from the top.
The book of Psalms, chapter 82, verse 6.
Uh-huh.
I have said, ye are gods.
Ye are gods. Ye are powers. You have powers to raise the dead, to heal all manners of sickness, to heal the lepers. Go ahead.
And all of you are children of the Most High.
If the Most High can do it, and he sees favor in you, and sees you fit to be able to carry out that power, who's a prime example of it? To carry out the Most High's power. Yahushua. Give me another one. Old Testament. Moses. Man, give the young man a hand real quick. He been paying attention. This young man been coming to class, like Most High Christ. Moses and Yahweh are prime examples of the power of the Most High. What, you think Moses split the sea? Who split the sea?
The Most High.
But how he used it? But why is it that people think that Moses did it?
I mean, because I want to say he said that was going to happen, so they thought so. But I'm not quite sure exactly.
The Most High just used Moses basically as a vessel. The same way that the Most High is going to use all the priests and prophets of himself, the priests and prophets of the Lord, to deliver a message, to teach you what you need to be taught, to let you hear what you need to hear, so that you can come back from being a lost sheep of Israel, so that you can come back into the fold, so that you can come back and follow the law, statutes, and commandments. Same way the Most High is using us, priests and prophets of the Lord. Was not Moses a priest and prophet of the Lord? Was he or was he not? I might be mistaken. Let's do one better. Was Yahushua a priest and prophet of the Lord or not? And ultimately, I mean, hell, who used them? The Most High. He used those individuals to show his powers, to show the wonders of the powers of the Most High, correct? All right, so we're going to drop that. We was just at, I got a little bit sidetracked. So lock here. What was the last one? We read Ecclesiasticus 13 and 16 correctly? Correct?
Okay.
So now we're going to go to the book of Genesis, chapter 25 and 25. Now, this part of, this portion of the segment of this class, it looks like I'm not going to be able to finish all of it, but the first portion was basically to get into how we are separate from everybody else, and to emphasize that and instill that into y'all minds that we are not the same as the so-called white man. Any other nations, there is a difference according to the Bible that y'all claim to love and y'all married to, and that y'all follow and know, and this, that, and the other. I wanted to take that same book and show y'all that there's a certain people that are different from everybody else. Now, with Genesis 25 and 25, we're going to start getting into one in particular that we are different from, but also how I want to put it. We're different from them, but also, you know, the main one in particular we need to tear from in the first place. We'll say that. Because this is the main one that we are in love with. And I'll kind of hit on that in a second. So with that, read the book of Genesis 25 and 25 through 26, Baba Kasha.
You want to start there at 23?
We can start from 23. Go ahead and read it when you got it.
This is the book of Genesis, chapter 25, verse 23. And the Lord said unto her, 2 nations are in thy womb, and 2 manner of people shall be separated from thy bowels. And the one people shall be stronger than the other people, and the elder shall serve the younger. Verse 24. And when her days to be delivered were fulfilled, behold, there were twins in her womb. Verse 25. And the first came out red all over like a hairy garment, and they called his name Esau. Verse 26. And after that came his brother out, and his hand took hold on to Esau's heel, and his name was called Jacob. And Isaac was 80 years old when she bare them.
Right. So with verse, we start from 23, correct? 24. So with verse 24.
No, 23 slide.
It is 23? So verse 23 started off with two nations of people in the womb, correct? All right. So 2 nations are in thy womb, and 2 manner of people shall be separated from thy bowels, and the one people, and the one people shall be stronger and the other than the other, and the elder shall serve the younger. So with that being said, with 23, who can tell me who that's already kind of talking about in the first place? Who's already been doing a little bit of study?
Esau and Jacob.
Okay, so who's the elder? Who's the younger?
Esau is older, Jacob's the younger.
So who's supposed to serve the other? One or the other?
Esau's supposed to serve Jacob.
Okay, so with that being said, what's the topic of today's class again? Of course, it's brotherhood. It is Tuesday. It is brotherhood. But with that being said, what is the topic particularly for today? Go ahead.
Why we're supposed to be separate from our enemies.
Right. So we're supposed to be separate from our enemies. So with that being said, if one is supposed to serve, if somebody's supposed to be a servant, if it's prophesied, or even if it's prophesied or is actually in the motion of somebody serving someone else. So in this context, it says on verse 23 that someone is going to serve the other, that the older is going to serve the younger, right? Does that mean that they're supposed to be in union? They're supposed to have some sort of equality? Or what is that basically saying? Sir?
It's pretty much saying that one people is better than other, and that you know, one has, if you want to say, favor over the other one. You know what I'm saying? If you,
Right.
If the Lord is saying that He has two people that's going to be coming from the same mother or father, but and they're going to be two nations, two manner of people, meaning they're going to be two different type of people.
Right.
And it says that the one shall be stronger than the other. So the one that's serving, that's not serving, the one that's the younger that's being served is stronger than the other people. You know what I'm saying? So that means that pretty much if the Lord shows them to be, you know what I'm saying, to be a better people or have favor with, you know what I'm saying, the Most High, over the people that's going to serve.
Right. But what's a big separation just in that verse alone that tells you that they're not equals? It's like, sir, hold on. I take a note the order of everybody, so you ain't gotta hold your hands up.
And you're talking about verse 23.
Verse 23. What is the main big thing? There's one word in particular you can look at in that verse that in itself lets you know that there's supposed to be a separation between these twin brothers, of which these two children shared the womb at the same, simultaneously shared the womb. It wasn't one after the other. No, they grew in the womb together. But what is the one thing in particular that lets you know they need to separate? Go ahead.
Nations?
No. Yeah, you own it though.
Would it be the separator part? I don't want to say that because you already said that, but I'm not quite sure.
It's not that. No. Go ahead. Oh wait, no. You had it first, sis.
Because the Lord said, the Most High said, He was going to make them two manner of people.
Is that in that verse though? I don't speak. Okay. All right. So you're not wrong. But what's the other thing? So there is that, but there's something else that lets you know that the two children are going to be separate. Aside from the fact that they're going to be separated people in the first place. But what is the thing that emphasizes that in the same verse? Go ahead, sis. You had it next.
Is it being stronger than one is stronger than the other?
I mean, he's stronger than me. That's my little brother right there. That means we different people?
No,
I'm just saying. Go ahead, sir.
Two manner of people.
Two manner of people is one. There's another one in more specific, because even though I'm not gonna get into that, that is another. What's another thing in that verse?
The service. One is going to serve the other.
So if I'm serving you, are we the same? Is every man created equal? Now, U.S. Constitution, biblically, this is our brother that had created this Constitution in the land that we live in if you are in the United States, right? So with that being said, you already have an understanding of how your brother views you when he actually has the power for himself. Right? Everybody understand that? Well, he will say, and it ain't no secret, every man is created equal, Salaki. Every man is created equal. But then after he finished signing that document, he go back home and say, "Hey, nigger, I need this chopped up. I need this land work done. Wooty woo." Hold up. I might not be able to read, but you know, Benjamin Franklin, Mr. Sir, I heard from the what were they called? Town crier, whatever I think it was called, where they basically read the newspaper to the town. What y'all just signed, and what it said, we supposed to be all man is created equal. This your brother saying, according to the Bible. Technically, that is your brother. The so-called white man is your brother. Esau is your brother. And this is how he feels about you. When you look at today, and then you can even go all the way back to Greece, when he began his empire, when he began his civilization, then go into Rome, where Yahweh Shai Mashiach, or Jesus Christ, entered into the scene. We're still doing the same thing, Rome and America doing the same thing. Their big issue is whom? Sure as hell ain't Moab. It sure as hell ain't, the Hamites, the Africans, the Chinese, the Japanese. It ain't them. The main people everybody want to get into control is the Israelites. It was the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. Right? Since you had something.
I was just curious. So, after the Most High made two manner of people in the and will be separated from the vowels.
Right.
Isn't it fair to say that they were no longer brothers?
Okay. So would you say that Ham, Shem, and Japheth aren't brothers?
They are.
They
brothers.
were, right? But what separates them?
What separates them or them?
Well, what separates those? What separates Ham, Japheth, and Shem? What separates them three? What separates them?
Nothing.
Being righteous?
Who was being righteous though?
Shem.
How? What was his righteous act?
He had the blanket, went back towards his father, and covered him.
He didn't want to clown his father for what happened. He didn't want to clown Noah, when his brothers were laughing at Noah for being drunk and naked. Shem showed obedience of the law to basically, and the law was not to uncover nakedness, his father's nakedness, but also, he didn't want to embarrass his father any further anyways. So that's why he walked backwards and covered him. You had something, sir?
No.
Oh, okay. Kind of. So is Shem, Ham, and Japheth, are they not brothers?
Come on, they are brothers.
They are brothers. So with that being said, why would Jacob and Esau not be brothers? What is the correlation between the two stories? Even though that you got three brothers and two brothers, what's the difference?
Because the Most High made a difference in the womb. The Most High said they were the
It's not the womb in particular. That's not what it is. What is it?
Isn't their act of what they do?
Let me ask y'all this: was Isaac the only child?
No.
Isaac wasn't the only child. He had an older brother, correct? Who was his older brother?
Ishmael, the Arab nation.
Okay, so is that not his brother?
Khan.
That is his brother, correct?
Khan.
But what separated Ishmael and Isaac?
The covenant that the Most High gave.
Okay, so what separated Shem, Japheth, Ham, and Jacob and Esau? It's the same exact thing. It's the same story through and through. There is no contradictions in the Bible. Keep in mind, it says you always use that as your rail guard. There's no contradictions in the Bible, right? So what is the relation, to answer your question, what is the relation? I'm just going to check on time. Okay. What is the relation between Shem, Japheth, and Ham? And then when you go into Jacob, Esau and Jacob, you want to do it in a order. What's the relation that they had?
I mean,
Can anybody tell me? Does anybody know what the relation is?
What the question?
And the same thing with, so this is my question. Noah's sons, Shem, Japheth, and Ham. Only Shem was deemed as righteous. So basically the seed line that we come from, we all come from Adam, we all come from Noah, we all come from Shem. If you're an Israelite, Israelites come from Noah, Shem, and then Isaac. Wait, I said that correct?
You said Adam.
There goes Adam.
Noah and
There goes
Shem.
Adam, Noah, Shem, and then Isaac.
Yeah.
From what we've read, I just wasn't throwing in Adam, but what is the correlation from them to when you carry over to Isaac and Ishmael, and then you carry over to Jacob and Esau? What do all three of those sets of brothers have in relation?
You're the chosen seed.
Give this sister a hand. Give this sister a hand. It's because the Most High chose Jacob. Because the Most High chose Isaac. Because the Most High chose Shem. This is why we don't have an issue of, because your question was about Noah's sons, correct?
Nah,
Where's your son?
my question was because the Most High separated Esau and Jacob in the womb.
From the womb.
It made them weak.
So did Shem, Ham, and Japheth not share the same womb?
They did, but the Most High.
But what's the difference?
Because this is the decree that the Most High made.
Right.
He didn't make that decree like that on Shem and Japheth and Ham. He made a decree that these are two different nations, two manner of people.
Right.
So how can they then be brothers if we're not brothers anymore?
We're not brothers anymore according to the Spirit. According to the Spirit. And I'm just going to say, for time's sake, if you continue to read into Genesis chapter 25 and then on with how the blessing of the inheritance got passed on to Jacob versus with Esau, that emphasizes on that. For example, there's some things that got, were key points that got pointed out was, and John Muhammad just passed it out on this past Thursday, was a very big thing that we all have to pay attention is that Esau has absolutely no doggone patience. So because he has no patience, yeah, I want me a steak, but I want it, what is that called that our uncle likes, the ring of death or something like that? Where you basically throw the steak on there, you flip it over, and then, it's called what?
Blue wing.
Blue wing. Okay, it's blue wing.
Blue ing.
Blue ing. We basically throw the doggone steak on the grill for a half a second, flip it over. That's basically what Esau did. That's basically what they did, what Esau did. That's in his spirit. So you carry on today, you still see that today with the nasty bastards still do the same thing. So with that, okay. So with that, we're gonna close this up now. I might have a part 2 coming into next week. A part 2 of this class just to finish up this, because there was still quite a few verses I wanted to bring out. So with that being said, I'm gonna pass the class to Precinct Officer Bakar.
We are the ISUPK, started out of 1 West 125th Street in Harlem, New York. Rule for new brother and sister. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to sell themselves of the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There's another 6 months in which a brother or sister will court each other. After this 6-month period, the brother and sister will get permission from the head to marry. Ties, which is a commandment. Numbers 18 and 20. The book of Numbers 18 and 21. Malachi 3:8-10 means 10th in the Hebrew. Maisharah. 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you. Give to the Treasury Department or teacher. Priest fund. Free will offering for priests, not mandatory. Whatsoever amount you would like. The upcoming holy convocations is the Feast of Purim, which is February 25th through the 26th. If anyone wants to be a trooper in the school, to start wearing all black, boots, shirt, pants, headband, and scarf. All right, and with that, it's a lock here. Men of Israel, Amijim, which means to stand. We're going to give one courtesy salute to the teacher. Amijim Shabbat. Amijim. Barak. Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shah Barakatah.
Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shah Barakatah.
Men of Israel. We're going to give one courtesy salute to the sisters. Sar, which means turn. Sisters, Amijim. All right, Amijim Shabbat. Amijim, salute. Yahweh Shemar Elatah Shem Yahweh Shah.
Most High Christ. Class dismissed.